I came to Palermo because I was invited to be part of the jury in the Sicilia Queer Film Festival. And it was really nice to take the opportunity now just before the summer really starts. And it was very beautiful to come. Thank you for the invitation. For me, it was really beautiful that there were some people that I met that I hadn't known before, or I knew about them, but I didn't meet them in person before. It was really great to get to know Monika Treut, whose film I knew. And funnily, my neighbor is her editor. So we already talked for a while that she wanted to introduce us, and it was really beautiful to get to know Monika Treut in this festival. And then Anna Hinz, for example, one part of the jury, who was the director of Smoke Sauna Sisterhood. It was really nice to get in contact with her, and like there was very inspiring conversations around the festival. And it was really great to discuss with the jury. So it was like a lot of beautiful encounters. So I'm a huge fan of the genre of new queer cinema, which would differentiate from like stories that have queer content but work with by the means of classical dramaturgies or patriarchal point of views of making cinema. But I'm more interested in films that don't only have a queer content and maybe depicts different identities and ways of living, but also finds a grammar in the form of film or in the form of storytelling. I feel like I'm very interested in any type of open dramaturgies that don't work with the same concept as we know it from closed dramaturgies. I feel that a risk for queer cinema nowadays might be that it's being commercialized. I feel only by taking the idea of how a romantic comedy works in a straight context, and that is something I would also probably criticize, the way romantic comedy is told, and just use a gay couple instead of a straight couple, for me is not the solution to the question of what could queer cinema be, but it always would need to have like inherent in the way of telling the story a queer aspect. And I think everything that is being commercialized through capitalist means and through just being, you know, a thing to sell, this could be a threat maybe to queer cinema. But as in society, queerness is maybe getting more and more visible because people find the language to speak about queerness, because maybe words are getting more and more known. I feel it's great that cinema pops up from the underground, and everything seems to be like, it was never as cheap to make films as it is right now, or as accessible, and it's really also something that I hope for, like new voices that have been unheard so far. I think there's going to be more queer cinema in the future, for sure. And some of it might be maybe not as revolutionary or not as much of like telling new things, but there's gonna be films just with queer content, but not with new means of telling a story. But I'm sure as it is being more and more accessible to make films, there will be new voices, and that is something that I really look forward to also speak about queer topics from perspectives that are suppressed, maybe because of other reasons in society, like classism or racism. Like, I don't want to only hear the privileged queer stories, but the stories of everyone. So I think the power of humor in films is that if there is something I want to say in a film, it might come across as lecturing, as trying to be like teaching the audience about something. And in the moment there is humor involved, I think it's a lot less clear, and it's a lot less of maybe what's it called? Let me see. I think so. I don't want to do propaganda on things, but I feel like I want to tell stories that are serious but able to laugh about themselves. And I think we all see ourselves as failing a lot in everyday lives. And if we see people failing on screen and we recognize ourselves in them, then we can laugh with them and not about them. And by laughing as an audience all together, I think this can create a big like type of solidarity with the group. So I think there's a lot of political strength in humor, apart from propagandist or dictatorship cinema is never able to laugh about itself. And that is just the strength of humor. Like, if you're humorous, nobody can fight you really. It's a big strength, because you cannot tackle me down if I'm able to laugh about myself. I think dreams and also desire has a very utopian thing to it. And I think by explaining what you long for, it can also give an optimist impression of how life could be. I like thinking or dreaming about possible futures maybe in a sci-fi way that is very close to reality. I think magical realism is something that also gives a lot of hope. Yeah, I'm interested in dreams and what they tell about people. And I'm very much interested in desire and how it works. I think the cool thing about cinema is that it has this language in which you can totally subvert time and space. You can go forward and backwards. You can rewind and start the scene again and start over again, as you can in dreams. Maybe if your day, like in mein HOSENSCHLITZ ist offen wie mein Herz, the zip of my pants is open like my heart, for example. There is this scene that is taking place in a daydream, and there's a moment in time when something gets rehearsed and then rewind and then redone in the proper way. And that is something cinema can do easily, because I'm able to change the time and space as I please. And it's just very inherent to the genre that you can play around with time, and things happen at the same time, or things happen again and again, or go backwards. So that is something that is very cinematic, and I love to play around with that, because in dreams we can always go back and forth in time, or also in desire we can. And maybe it gives new perspectives on how reality could also go. In realities, you could also go back and forth in time. I don't know. I have been playing with my feminist punk band Szapka for the past 12 years. So they have been present most of my grown-up life, all of my grown-up life actually. It's kind of a bit like family. And there's a very strong feminist community around music in Vienna. And this gave me the opportunity to be in contact with a lot of bands that I loved also featuring in my films. For me, it's very important which music I use in my films, and it's mostly music made by Flinter artists. Most of the music is made by people that I know, and often the music somehow serves as a commentary on the content of the film. Even though they are really far away from the genre of musicals, music has a really important role. And Szapka, sometimes I mentioned it in films, or sometimes I used music from Szapka, which was great because obviously I also have the rights for all of our music. And also, like in filmmaking, I have made a lot of music videos as well, and music gives a beat and also gives a potential structure to the editing. Through this friendship, she finds the power to stand up for herself. And there's a lot of queer side characters. And let's see, we're still in the editing process, so I cannot say so many things about. Some things might still change a bit. But there's also, I think the side characters are also a very important part of the film. And also the music plays a very important role. There's a lot of music. The protagonist herself is singing. There's a queer band from Vienna performing a song on screen inside of the film. There's a singer who plays a choir teacher, and the choir sings one of her songs about also it's also against reproduction of stereotypes. And she plays the choir teacher, and the children's choir sings her song. So we have a lot of music in the film as well, and playing around with ways of telling the story. I think it's very important to have a queer film festival in Sicily. I wish you luck, and I hope the scene will profit. The queer scene in Sicily will profit from this festival.